The year 2024 comes to an end. It was hard with many challenges and many changes into our lives, not only victories but losses. But the year 2024 will be remembered as the one when war has returned to Russia itself. After decades of exporting war to its neighbors, Russians themselves have felt what an occupied territory is, and far-reaching strikes have become the new reality. So without further introduction, let's go. In 2024, Ukraine intensified its use of long-range drones targeting strategic sites deep inside Russian territory, including oil refineries, arms depots, and military airfields. This tactic, while not ending the war, has disrupted Russian logistics, slowed advances, and forced Moscow to relocate critical assets further east. Ukrainian drones capable of operating up to 2,000 kilometers struck significant targets such as Russia's largest oil refineries and Tu-22 M3 bomber in Murmansk Oblast, nearly 1,800 kilometers from Ukraine's border. Despite this success, Ukrainian officials have not publicly acknowledged the attacks, leaving the scale of operations to be pieced together through Russian reports and independent sources. The largest attacks, involving hundreds of drones launched simultaneously, exposed vulnerabilities in Russia's outdated air defense systems, which struggle against Ukraine's cost-effective and innovative drone swarms.
Since February 2022, more than 450 strikes deep in the Russian rear have been recorded according to open-source information alone. The enemy skillfully conceals information, but it is hard not to notice the elephant in the room that strikes Russian airfields, oil depots, or Moscow city skyscrapers. The record for range is estimated at 950 plus km. There is not much information about attack drones that hit targets in enemy territory. This is primarily due to security concerns and to prevent the enemy from developing and using countermeasures. From the publication Militarny.
Ukrainian strikes on Russian armed depots, including a catastrophic attack on a facility in Tver Oblast, have caused significant logistical setbacks. Additionally, assaults on oil infrastructure have disrupted production, leading to increased fuel prices and financial losses for Russia. The attacks have also pressured Moscow to invest in new defense technologies and strategies which could take years to implement. Looking ahead, Ukraine plans to scale up its production of drones and domestically manufactured missiles to sustain long-range operations further. President Volodymyr Zelensky envisions Ukraine becoming a leader in the global defense industry, urging international investment to bolster its capabilities. However, as Ukraine enters 2025, it faces the dual challenges of countering Russia's continued advance on the battlefield and securing sufficient resources to maintain its strategic advantage. On December 30, 2024, Ukraine achieved a significant milestone in its ongoing war against Russia, conducting one of the largest prisoner exchanges since the full-scale invasion began. A total of 189 Ukrainian citizens were returned from Russian captivity, including armed forces service members, National Guard troops, border guards, sailors, and civilians. Among them were defenders of battlegrounds like Azovstal in Mariupol, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and Snake Island in the Black Sea. Some of those freed had been held for Russia for over 2 years, enduring chronic illnesses and injuries. In return, Ukraine released 150 Russian military personnel. Since the start of the invasion in February 2022, Ukraine has liberated almost 4,000 captives, with 1,358 freed this year alone. Many still stay in Russian captivity, and all of Ukraine, international organizations, and mediators are doing everything possible to bring all the people back in 2025. And to other results of the year on the battlefield, Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky revealed that Russian forces had sustained staggering casualties in this year, with 427,000 soldiers killed or wounded. The heaviest losses were recorded in Donetsk Oblast, where Russia employed relentless human wave assaults despite incurring significant fatalities. Over the past week alone, Russian forces have reportedly been losing an average of 1,700 personnel per day. Ukraine estimates total Russian casualties since the invasion began at 790,000. In contrast, President Zelensky stated that Ukraine has lost 43,000 soldiers and suffered 370,000 injuries during the conflict. On December 30th, Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal announced that the United States would provide Ukraine with $15 billion secured by future revenues from frozen Russian assets. This substantial financial support is part of the Peace in Ukraine project, which is funded by the U.S. contribution to the G7 initiative. The funds totaling $20 billion are allocated for social and humanitarian programs. The agreement was formalized between Ukraine's finance ministry and the World Bank. Shmyhal expressed gratitude to the US and the World Bank, stating that the initiative forces Russia to bear financial responsibility for its aggression against Ukraine. Early in December, Ukraine began receiving funds under the G7 $50 billion loan program, also backed by profits from frozen Russian assets. On December 24th, Ukraine received $1 billion from those assets, highlighting the international effort to redirect Russian resources to support Ukraine. The program has not been without controversy. The Russian embassy in London criticized the UK's parallel plan to provide £2 billion to Ukraine using frozen Russian assets, labeling it as a fraudulent scheme. Despite Russian objections, the initiative has been backed by G7 leaders and EU officials, with the majority of frozen Russian assets held in European countries.
Today, I am proud to announce nearly $2.5 billion in security assistance for Ukraine, as the Ukrainian people continue to defend their independence and freedom from Russian aggression. Since Russia launched its further assault against Ukraine in February 2022, the United States has rallied the world to stand with the Ukrainian people, and it has been a top priority of mine to provide Ukraine with the support it needs to prevail. Joe Biden on the White House website.
As Trump's inauguration approaches, his administration's policies on Ukraine and Russia remain a subject of speculation and debate. But we are full of hope that the policy of the new US administration will remain loyal to helping democracies around the world to fight back authoritarians who want to encroach on the nations that choose democracy, rather than to be cogs in the machine of the axis of evil. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to strengthen its positions with support from the US and its allies, ensuring that Russia's aggression carries both military and financial consequences. As well as that, Ukraine will have a strong position when the time comes to end this war and bring a just peace, as we all in Ukraine wanted. And that is all for today and for this year too. It was me, Pavlo Shtelmach on UATV, delivering the news of the free world to you directly from Ukraine. Stay strong, stay tuned for more. Remember to support us by hitting that like and subscribe button down below. Soon you will see not only me, but also Henry Keane returning to the studio in 2025. Thank you for being with us in 2024 and all these years since 2022. Stay safe and don't let propaganda win in 2025. Happy New Year!